The first album I recorded with the band was Give 'Em Enough Rope, and we recorded it in Basing Street Studios, and with Sandy Perlman, and it was, I just seemed to excel on that particular album, and Sandy Perlman called me the human drum machine because I didn't make any mistakes. It was that, and then London Calling, I think, was when I was at my best. And then I started to, lose the plot a bit from then on. Looking back on it, I was out of control, and I remember being sick on Buddy Holly's grave, which didn't go down too well. But I lost I just. That part, because I was a fan of Keith Moon and everything. I Live Fast, Die Young. I was very much into all that, and as I say, I lost the plot completely. When we remember fighting with Joe in Japan, in the lift, and he was saying, "How can I write all these songs about anti-drugs when you're stoned out of your head behind me?" So there was like a lot of friction building up over a period of time, which culminated in me being sacked. Basically, I didn't have the foresight that Mick and Joe and Paul had, I think. It was kind of like I've been brought up playing jazz and, that sort of thing. There's Neil Wells brought up the Marine School of Music where everyone sight reads and plays jazz and stuff. And so to me, it was kind of so different. I didn't have the foresight to believe that it would actually work, And so, to be honest with you, I thought, right, I'll join, stay with the band for a year, get my name known and everything, and then move on to something good. But by the end of the year, do you know what I mean? It was like, when I first went into the audition, it was kind of like I was in a state of shock, I think, after the actual audition. When I actually started to listen to the numbers and I heard the first album, because I wasn't on the first album, I realised how just like incredible it was, the power that I felt like playing with them, Like, I used to play everything on the hi-hat, and I remember Mick or Joe, or I think it was Mick actually, said, "So play it on the floor, Tom, give it a bit more power," and hit everything really hard, and sort of like to completely relearn the drums, basically. But it was all for the best, it was all for the, it's all the things that I was lacking in my playing anyway. I don't know, it was just a great feeling doing London Calling, with, like, Guy was there occasionally, But when he was there, he just contributed sort of madness and, like, made us laugh and, it sort of stopped us from getting too serious, I think. And, so, like, although it's like written, rehearsed and recorded and everything, it's still got that sort of like unrehearsed side of things, which is Guy, He came into the studio once and there's like orchestra chairs and he pulled the top one off and the whole lot fell on him, And if you listen to one of the songs in the background, you can hear a pile of chairs falling on him and him going, ouch, Things like that, just he kind of like lightened the whole thing up, Halfway through a take, he'd be like fighting with the engineer over the desk, fuse the desk and things like that. Or the police would bring him 3 hours late for a session because they'd found him down at some road works or something. He'd fallen in, So it was, I loved all that, yeah. As far as I can remember, Joe went to Paris basically as a kind of like indirect way of getting me sacked from the group. Kind of like, his attitude was like, I've proved you can't do it without me. Now I want Topper out of the group. I think, I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. But as I say, I don't hold any grudges about it because I was out of control, I was a liability to the band. But that's how I remember it anyway, was that he had enough of me and he went to Paris and basically came back and I was given an ultimatum and I couldn't live up to it. Well, it sounds very arrogant, but I think when I was sacked, although I understand totally why I was sacked, I don't think they were never the same ever again. And I feel a lot of guilt about that, you know, because if I'd have kept my act together, I could see the band, you know, possibly still being together today in a way, do you know what I mean? But I lost the plot, and because I lost the plot, the action had to be taken. And like the Clash, like the four of us, and between the four of us we gelled into something that became the Clash. Individually, none of us were as good as we were as a four-piece band, you know? I mean, I did a solo album after the Clash, and it's not bad, but and Mick's done a few albums with Big Audio Dynamite, and I think they're really good, but I don't think any of us have done anything since that comes anywhere near the Clash, you know. Yeah, I wrote Rock the Casbah, the music, not the lyrics. And one day I just went, rather than, because I don't know actually what notes I'm playing, so one day rather than teach everyone or show them what notes to play, I played the piano and put the drums down and the bass down, and thinking it was just going to be like to show them how it went, and they said, great, keep it, just that's it, you know. Mick put guitar on it and Joe did vocals on it, it was done.